Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Behind the Masks on Gaming with Scott. I am here with John Garlick.
Hey, everybody.
I'm here with Joshua Jackson.
Val Kilmer can die.
I am here with Jay Duguay.
I'm a unicorn.
And this is the list of people that die in Infinity War.
You leave Val Kilmer alone.
Val Kilmer dies.
He dies. He was in Infinity Wars.
Superman dies.
Josh
Yeah.
Jackson dies.
He deserved it.
Josh Jackson dies, that guy that played in Fringe as Peter Bishop. He's
Well,
dead.
He deserved it.
Yeah, I know, right?
John Garlick lived.
I totally lived.
Yeah.
Totally lived.
To mourn the deceased.
Yeah.
Jay Duguay is immortal.
Morn lived from the Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
From that
yeah.
crossover. He's still on the...
He had too many lines.
He did. Yeah, his soliloquy? Dude, tears.
Oh, he went on and on.
I couldn't. There's like a 15-minute soliloquy from Morn.
Yeah.
He does like this monologue soliloquy.
The nudity was tasteful.
It was well done, but I cried. I cried like a baby. I'll admit it. Mm-hmm. So let's talk some Infinity War. Should we do that?
So I kind of wanted.
Turn my ears off.
I kind of wanted Thor to be like, well, why did It's like, so Bucky went crazy. Why didn't you just kiss him to break the spell?
Yeah, nice, nice,
Because he only had one arm.
nice.
They did. They found the drummer from Def Leppard. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they did. Now, I will point out, we were saying it a little earlier on our tidbit that you might have just heard, that you were saying that you were sad.
I have faith that Marvel's writing has been consistent enough up to this point that there will be meaningful and significant emotional consequences to Infinity War, even if aspects of it get undone in subsequent movies.
Nope.
I was suggesting the fact that they had Benedict Cumberbatch and Robert Downey Jr. on the screen at the same time,
And no one said no shit Sherlock's,
which I think they should have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a spoiler,
That's,
but that's not.
No, it's not.
So, Infinity War, for those of you,
this is a non-spoiler.
this is a non-spoiler
thing.
Okay, we're not going to do spoilers, but we did want to get a little bit of Infinity.
Because it's cathartic after the trauma that 3 of the 4 of us have suffered from
I think
weathering it.
me and Tiny Tot are going tomorrow to see it.
Nice.
It
It is cathartic. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
It is outstanding. I thought it was phenomenally good.
Yeah.
But it is
very good.
very well. One thing I didn't expect is that it is very much part 1 of a 2-part thing.
Yeah. I did know that.
Spoilers. My wife, son, and daughter did not know that going in.
Oh,
So they were probably.
They were like,
bawling.
"Hey, so this is the good.
my
Here's your
God."
gut punch," and it went. It
Hysterectomy.
very much stays on par with the comics.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things that they don't go into as deep because it's not a comic book.
Yeah.
Nope.
And
I liked what they did changing. I didn't expect to, but I liked what they did in revising the motivations of Thanos.
I thought it made him a person.
Give him
Well,
depth. Yeah.
because the thing is, like, okay, so in the comics, in case you weren't aware, Thanos is in love with the personification of death, who's this woman,
Which never comes up.
Lady Death.
Lady
Which
Death.
never comes up. I know you can only
that
go
he's
so
a-
far, but
But basically,
That's
like
what I call my lady
all of
bits.
his,
Lady Death.
but all of his,
You call your what?
My lady parts.
yeah.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
So that means I can call you LD. Nice.
Whoa. Okay. So anyway, but he
No.
in the comics he is obsessed with this woman, the queen, his would-be queen, who does not have an interest in him because
She was the avatar. She was death, right?
Yeah,
Avatar of death.
Lady Death.
And so he is obsessed with her. She is like, yeah, whatever.
I've seen better.
And all of the stuff that he does is in pursuit of winning her favor by
impressing her.
causing mass destruction.
And all he's doing is giving her overtime. I mean,
And
honestly.
really, I mean,
Truth.
you think like, well, if you love death so much, why don't you die? That's obviously he's not really willing.
Why
to
don't
commit.
you marry it?
Why don't you marry it? And but yeah,
Trying.
So changing from that, I thought made him. I was worried because I thought that the idea of that like whiny, entitled male deal. I thought that would be a good motivation, but what they did instead with his just overwhelming arrogance
Oh, it was amazing.
was worthwhile. I
Yes.
thought.
Well, until the end, where when they painted him as a person, and then his quote, so what did it cost you? And his response is everything.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. He gets to live, and
Well, we don't know that.
Retire into the superhero retirement community.
So
Anyway.
so Lady Death. Talking about that for a moment. There is a. Everyone here has seen Deadpool, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's something to do with Marina Baccaran's character.
I hope so,
From
yes.
Deadpool, right?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
please.
That
Please.
his girlfriend
Oh, hush.
is
No.
Lady Death.
Modern
And
day
that-
Val Kilmer.
And that Lady. Ooh.
Oh, you love me.
Are you just saying he's had too many donuts, or is he
I
just getting
said,
puffy?
is
All
there
the above.
were there bees?
Oh, did you get stung and have a reaction?
Everywhere.
See, I know my thing. I'm trying to lose weight here. I've recently had an eye surgery, which has helped me. But it's, I figured the camera adds 10 pounds, right? And I'm like, how many friggin' cameras do I have on me right now? So that's kind of a thing. But we're fixing that. So, but you don't have an excuse. I don't know what happened.
Whoa! One
Yeah.
minute. I will push you off a ledge once I find one.
Right.
Keep
There's
it up.
one right there.
It is.
You have to
So-
muster up the strength to lift your
lift-
Val Kilmer body.
No, I need a
And
donut.
my body. Could you imagine if Val Kilmer
Damn it,
today
Iceman.
trying to give me a piggyback ride? That would be horrible. You're going to blow a
I'm
hernia.
Maverick.
I think we need to.
I think we need to
we
get
need
back
to
on
deal.
topic,
we
don't
need to deal in Steven Seagal.
That's the creepiest
Oh.
elder
To help
porn
fight.
I've ever.
Isn't he like a
seen.
cop now or like a pretend
He was.
cop?
No,
the
he runs
favorite-
a dojo.
I was
He's
gonna
the
say,
favorite person
in every movie he's ever
of
been in.
multiple like Eastern European oligarchs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Ukraine.
It's horrible. So
Kiev.
back to the thing. Everybody dies, or
Including your
except
fa-
half,
including your favorite guy, especially your favorite guy, because D's nuts.
right? Yeah, pretty much. And that's
Wrong with you?
that's the summary.
That's what happens. in
Even for
Infinity
the
War.
ladies, these
Yeah.
nuts.
D's
They
nuts.
have
because
they have
that's why.
all of the extras die, and all of the primary. At one point they do a Deadpool-esque fourth wall break, and they pan over
Yeah.
to like the crew set where they've got the the nice nosh out and the coffee and the thing. Everyone's dead.
And
Yeah.
they killed
Producers,
the
cameramen.
the best boy,
Yeah,
the key
all of
grip.
them.
Yeah, this
and
is-
you-
was
and
terrible.
You're wondering, and you're
Terrible.
wondering, like, who's turning the camera? And then the camera turns, and it's like on this auto turn thing. And it's
Yeah.
really creepy, sort of an Orwellian-esque.
It was
It's-
actually it's
yeah.
actually a prequel for the Pitch Black movies. Just saying.
What? You've never seen Pitch Black before, have you?
Yeah, all three.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know you
What
guys
does
are
it get
all
done to his
about.
job, or what does it get done to his eyes?
He got
Huh?
What's it called?
it's just, I don't remember.
Was
It's
it-
silver.
'cause
In a-
That's
in
all
a-
I remember.
in
You can
a-
see in the dark.
in a no light slam. He traded three cartons of menthol cools.
Look at you.
For a shine job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't see the second one. or the
Much-
I've
third
seen
one.
all three.
Much respect for Vince.
So have you seen
gonna say.
Pitch Black yet?
Yeah.
We should do a screening and a review. Because
Absolutely.
Pitch Black.
Because
I
you're
was
getting
just
your
being
shine
funny.
job done?
That was because I got my shine. I got half of my shine.
Yeah,
job
yeah.
done. I'm
Scott
gonna
has
have
had
done next week.
has had eyeball surgery.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like we could do a mystery theater
And
3000.
MST3K.
Yeah. But even in here, we could just like project onto that wall.
Put Scott in
And
front of
just
a
say,
keyboard.
No. We need a projector.
Start the heckling.
No.
Start your heckling tape.
We don't
at at the point where you hear the MGM lion roar,
No.
and we will
We turn the
entertain
lights
you
out.
with our
Three things.
Our
Film
hateful
from behind
antics.
us.
No, dim lighting, a projector, and a keyboard to go in front of Scott as he plays for Ray Charles, and then we'll be ready to go. Those three.
the ableism.
Audrey, I called Audrey. What did I say? I called her Stevie. I told her she looked for something like Stevie Wonder.
I just called.
Wow.
She was like, "Who's
So-
Stevie Wonder?"
So please send all. Okay,
All
so
complaints.
if you are visually impaired and you want to send us some hate mail,
hey, whoa!
please
He
use
just made a
large
Ray
fonts.
Charles
I
reference
love
too.
Ray Charles.
I
He's
love
a
Stevie
saint.
Wonder. Doesn't
Stevie
change.
Wonder.
These
Stevie
are-
Wonder is a pioneer in funding bionic eyes. He is.
Well,
he
now what I-
is actually on it.
Are we just digging the grave
real.
even more?
Well, when I open a book cover now, you can hear it go. It's my bionic eye.
Oh.
No? Okay. No, and these aren't
We
Ray
have the
Charles
tech-
glasses. These are Jamie Foxx glasses.
We
Hello.
have the technologies. We can rebuild him.
He played
We
Ray.
can.
He played Ray Charles.
He did.
$6 million is actually pretty affordable if you think about it.
Nowadays, yeah,
$6
for a
million
new arm, a new
man.
leg, a new eye, half your skull redone.
Yeah.
$6 million. That's about right.
Pocket
Yeah, but
change.
you
Not
know,
that hard.
nobody makes a living wage, let alone.
Well, but that's
It's
with
not
a
bad.
copay.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's not bad for the 1%.
It would be only like a $1.5 million copay.
Right. Well, no.
No,
I'm
the
saying,
$6 million is the
Yeah.
copay.
Oh.
No.
No?
The $6 million is what the insurance company covered because you paid. You hit your yearly in one go, right? You're going to pay like $2,500 of the $6 million. And then you're
that's
like,
back.
good.
That's back when we
I
actually
can't
had
afford
insurance.
health insurance.
Oh.
That's all out of
So
pocket.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're looking at
Oh, that's bad. I haven't gotten a bill yet.
join the Space Force.
I'm now a cyborg.
I'm
You
gonna,
are. You can
I'm gonna
technically
put up
say
a
that.
GoFundMe for my cyborg.
he's going to be a grinder now. He's going to get a bunch of new implants.
Whoa,
I'm sorry. Grinder is referring to body modification enthusiast.
Shadowrun play is not-
GRINDR. The
Where I
the
swipe
hookup.
right for
Whatever,
romantic mail
John.
and
Whatever.
for exciting and
But no,
romantic
there
male
are-
relations.
There are people
Meow.
who've got like magnets implanted in their fingertips so they can use their phones, their touch screens better and stuff like
Oh,
that.
and they still don't have
Really?
jobs. That's awesome.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna
I
get.
mean-
I'm not gonna get the leopard print or the lizard man stuff done to me.
Why not?
Why? Go
Just
big or go
the,
home.
the split
the-
tongue.
Oh no!
Ow. You can
At
move
least
them
split
separately.
the tongue. At least split the tongue.
Then I just have
Hey.
entice two people at once. Is that what
Do,
you're saying?
do you want to be able to answer the phone when they call you and ask you if you have Prince Albert in a can, affirmatively or not?
This is true. This is true.
Affirmative.
That's pretty
Anyway.
horrible.
Yeah. that's-
We've gone down there. So what
We've
body
gone
modifications
down
would you get done?
the rabbit hole.
Oh,
That's the
hate
question.
I think I would. I'd start off with.
He'd get the Dolly Parton.
Oh,
What, the big poofy hair implant? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
stop myself from falling on my face.
Yeah.
Oh,
That one. The,
that would be.
the buoyancy inserts.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
that would be strange.
You will never, never drown ever.
But you have to do the backside too.
Oh, otherwise
that-
you're lopsided.
Yeah. Otherwise you go. Pow.
Otherwise, you throw
Yeah.
your back out.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they have butt implants.
That's
now.
what I'm
You're
saying,
Good.
like-
You're good.
He's got to balance it so he's not always
Have you ever
falling
seen
forward.
somebody with butt implants?
Yeah, have you
it's like a
seen-
shelf.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, you kidding me?
Does she have butt implants?
Yes.
Yes.
It's very obvious that when she's wearing like a bathing
You
suit.
talk about bionic woman. Yeah, she's had a lot done.
Oh my God, my favorite is I just saw it again the other day. It was a picture of the Kardashian family in like the early 90s, and it was before the Kardashians discovered plastic surgery. Oh God, it's bad.
That good, huh?
Okay.
Oh God, it's so bad.
I mean, I just remember their long deceased patriarch was in the OJ trial, and he was a lawyer.
He was.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh.
he was. And little did we know that was the beginning of.
She got her
end.
entire naked body
Molded
plaster
in a
cast,
cast.
molded. Yeah.
Which is why her husband has jumped on the grenade of drawing all of the attention away from her.
Right.
Make America great again.
Because she's creating a fragrance bottle
That is shaped like her.
that is shaped like her, that is anatomically correct to her.
Who is?
Is this like a milk jug or like
Kardashian.
what is this?
Kim.
Is this like a milk jug or?
Right. Of eau de toilette. Yes.
That's disgusting.
You know, toilet
Who
water.
wants to spray themselves with something that smells like garbage?
That's my thought.
Oh.
And the entire like technological community went, there's such a thing as 3D scanning, right?
Oh no.
You could have just gone zing zing and been done. You didn't have to do like an 8-hour mold of a 4-hour of here's your bitsies,
Yeah, who knows?
all warm and dry and crusty.
Somebody sold her on that.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
yeah, we know. Hey,
We know what's coming after.
We
the
know
perfume
that.
bottle.
Oh yeah, that they're saving that for like the plastic sex doll or something. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
This is the lubricant. Tears from small children in
See,
sweatshops.
in a lot of
jeez.
like situations, like, for example, minis for board games.
Yeah.
When you go through a manufacturer in China, they own the mold.
Oh.
So you get the product from it, but they own the mold. They now own the artwork.
So they can mass produce whatever they want with it.
So,
if
or
it's
like,
good.
you're a Disney person, Disney pins.
Yep.
There's Disney pin trading is very prevalent, but because they do a lot of it over in China, they own the plates. So then they produce cheap quality ones and sell them in bulk on like eBay.
Yep.
So because they own the mold, Disney has the product.
So we've gone from Marvel to the Kanye family to
I brought it back to Disney.
to Disney copyright infringement.
So
This has
now
been a
somebody
an
owns this
interesting
mold
Papa Disney. Yeah.
of Kardashian.
of her butt.
Yeah. So the
Or her whole body.
her whole body.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll make her perfume bottle, but then they have that because they probably own the mold, so they can do other things with it.
Anyhow,
So in case I need something in the Macy's Day Parade, right between SpongeBob and the Chipmunks.
Bestiality is a sin.
Mommy, what's that? It's terrifying.
It's horrific.
Martha.
so let's just, it would be interesting though.
It wouldn't.
Speaking of bringing up Dawn of Justice or Batman versus Superman, it would be interesting to go to like do a contrast, a viewing of like the DC Super Friends movie, whatever the hell it
Super
is.
Friends.
Actually, no, that would be better.
What are they?
The
Care
Justice
Bears?
League.
Are they Care Bears?
Justice League, and then Avengers back to back, and compare and contrast. Is like this is their CGI villain.
I really liked Justice League.
I did too.
But I mean, like to contrast, what's his name, like Stormmonger, the big crusty dude that
Right,
was the bad guy. It was Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, yeah.
Not
Not in the mic, please.
Sorry,
Alrighty.
I didn't know that was coming.
Steppenwolf with like Thanos and different like there are parallels between the two properties.
Oh, there are.
Because they're building towards Darkseid.
Which is what I really was hoping to see, and we didn't see any of it.
No.
I was really kind of stunned. Steppenwolf bothered me because when the first little thing attacked him, and they went, "Oh, they could smell fear." The minute he crushed his head like a grape, they all would have gone, "Oh, not fearful of us, so we're done here." Yeah, that would not have been a thing. Moving on.
But the entire thing with like Steppenwolf was a forgettable villain.
Very much so.
Pooped out by a CGI.
I actually
factory.
couldn't remember who the villain was.
I mean, yeah, I had to look it up.
Exactly.
But like, let's be real. Darkseid is
Solid.
Darkseid, I think I would put him over Thanos as a villain.
Well,
Really?
Well, because here's the thing: Darkseid and Apocalypse were always which one is the those were the analogous that I understood.
Yeah, that's fair because they are kind of both like the misspelled purple guys that
Exactly.
Yeah,
live out there.
And Marvel screwed up Apocalypse, so hopefully Darkseid will be.
No.
They screwed it up.
No.
Totally.
Fox screwed up Apocalypse.
It was
The way
screwed up.
that
period.
Fox has been screwing up Spider-Man for a decade,
forever.
okay?
Yeah.
And when they gave it back to Marvel, Marvel did Spider-Man the right way. If they'd have let Marvel do Apocalypse, he wouldn't have looked like a cheap cosplay knockoff of a guy in a rubber suit.
Named Poe.
Yeah.
Hey, Oscar Isaac, was not responsible for that sucking.
No, but that movie
The
was
same way
horrible.
George Clooney was not responsible for those nipples.
Nipples.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, no, I'm with that. But but Thanos beat down Galactus,
Yeah,
which
but
I
mean,
really want to see. By the way,
yeah, that would
that's
be-
I'd
the thing I
love
wanna
to
see.
see that. I don't think we ever will, but that'd be awesome.
I think that honestly, Marvel has one of the reasons that I think they've been on a good streak as of
Disney.
2018 is more particularly in the specific criteria, other than they're run by Disney, is they've had some good villains. They have had very solid villains.
Yeah, all right, I'll give you that.
Like Killmonger, Hela.
Hello,
Is it too
awesome.
is it too soon to talk spoilers about Black Panther?
I haven't seen Black Panther.
I mean, this won't come out for another It won't come out.
I
for
wasn't.
A while.
I wasn't.
It will be a
Good
while.
point.
I was gonna say I
So-
wasn't going out and fighting that crowd.
I was, anyway.
Because Black Panther was A+, top shelf,
Truth.
freaking amazing.
True statement.
Absolutely.
I would see that. First.
I'd say that's easily one of their top 3 movies.
Yeah. It's
Easily.
It's giving Iron Man 1 a run for its money.
Well, and also,
I mean,
it's
Wakanda Forever. is
it
what I'm
has
saying.
massively succeeded on the international market as well. It's
yeah.
it's like $1 billion plus.
It's like,
No.
where are all the white actors? Yes, take my money.
Well, and that was one of the things. That was one of the Facebook things. It was all over that there was this guy dancing. He was dancing around, and then he stops and he looks at the photo and he goes, "I'll tell you what, white people, if this is how you felt when movies came out, when you look at the movie poster." And then that movie poster is for you. He goes, I can understand. He goes, I understand why you're so
Yeah.
happy and why you love it. He says, this is amazing.
The white people are the evil ones.
Yeah. And the
So-
idiots,
Yeah,
which
true.
is
The
you
comic
know.
relief sidekicks.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a fantastic movie.
Oh, absolutely.
My favorite was since it was Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis.
The token.
Yeah.
The
The
Tolkien.
Tolkien.
The token white
guys.
people.
The Tolkien.
Yeah,
It was very funny. It was very good.
It was
But
good.
but like okay, so Killmonger, great villain.
Yes.
Hela,
Great villain.
Thor Ragnarok,
yes,
great villain.
Great villain.
You've got a lot of a good run of
yeah.
excellent villains going back a while.
Ultron.
Ultron,
Excellent
I'd say,
villain.
was pretty decent.
Okay,
you
so
know.
they changed Ultron from the comic books.
yeah, he's
And-
no longer the creation of Hank Pym. and-
Right, and I was like, we're going to get to see the cube. And then we didn't. And then we got to see some cube-esque knockoff that was in the middle of the ocean, but it wasn't a cube, and I was really mad. But I really liked the change, and I was like, Hank Pym's in there because they got Ant-Man, so they can do Hank, and they can...
Well, I think they're not going to go. I mean, because like
I was furious.
the thing is, like Hank Pym is a character that is honestly perhaps too controversial for modern movies.
Why?
Well, because I mean, he
Yeah,
was like
why?
the thing is like the rest of the characters were sort of like heroes. He was genuinely the problem guy, and he is like their one dude on the team who is like, oh well, he's funny and he's all right and he's creative. He's done all these cool gadgets, and then he's like, oh my god, what is he doing to his wife? And all of he
Well, but they're
became
playing
like a horrible, like he was a study of like being of like confronting people with what do you do when one of your friends turns out to be terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's what how they're trying to package it is my wife is gone. I'm ultra defensive about that. I'll punch you in the nose if you mention her. And that's the side we get to see, not the I like my beer like I like my violence domestic. And it's not that. That's a great joke, by the way. That joke,
Horrible.
You cannot trim any fat from that joke.
Worse
It
than
is
a Val Kilmer movie.
Worse than 2018 Val Kilmer, which Jackson looks like.
Hey!
We've got some responses coming into the question on our
Oh,
Facebook.
do we?
Yes.
So remind us the question.
So I posted, help us solve a problem. Jackson claims that Val Kilmer only has 3 good movies.
Yep.
We disagree. What do you think? We got a not even that many.
I love that person.
And then we got a list: Real Genius, Top Gun, Willow, The Doors, Tombstone,
Oh, the Doors.
Doors.
Heat, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
No.
Yeah, more than 3 for sure.
No, I was wrong. I would have said 4 because I forgot Tombstone, but yeah. That's
6,
it.
easy.
No,
Yeah.
you're off.
6, easy.
Yeah.
We're generally hateful people.
This guy-
I
oh,
want
yeah, he
you to
did-
know that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, follow up to a comment that you had earlier about Adam West being the true Batman. So that Adam West was it, and there it is. I have to say
No, you don't.
that I do. I do.
Oh,
Does
sorry.
he's going
Caesar
to crack.
Romero did a Joker in the Adam West, opposite Adam West in the,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was amazing. I mean, he is. It took it.
I vaguely remember that.
He is one of the best. And Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler. Remember the Batman 1960s Riddler? Remember that?
Oh,
That
okay,
guy
yeah,
was
yeah.
friggin' outstanding.
I mean,
He was solid.
I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Honestly, I love Mark Hamill more from his work as the Joker than his work as Luke Skywalker.
Yeah?
Really?
I've got to say that is what I remember him most fondly doing.
Interesting.
I mean, that's just that's him in the animated series was just
He was good.
amazing.
He was good. He really, really was. But Cesar Romero was just laid the groundwork for an outstanding on-screen Joker.
Well, and
I can
Eartha
see
Kitt
that.
as Catwoman
Oh,
was
yes.
amazing.
True
Oh, yeah.
statement.
I mean,
Yes.
we kind of like grew away from the 1966 Batman over time because we wanted to get back into like Batman being like dark and gritty and
right.
and
They wanted Dark Knight, not Batman.
You
Right.
mean a brooding
Yeah.
rich guy that any male actor can play?
with
Male white actor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
honestly, yeah, anybody could be Batman, really. I mean, I always wanted the Justice League to be gathered around like the TV and saying, well, I don't know why they made like Bruce and Diana White and, and Martian Manhunter is a man. I don't know
What the heck? What happened there?
Green. I don't know how that happened. So I was really pissed off, as a quick side note, when we saw the first Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, DC Legends of Tomorrow crossover.
I got to
And-
say, DC, I'm very favorably disposed towards their TV efforts. I like them a lot better than their movies.
Oh, very much so. From that, however, the notion of they had a building in the first
Yeah.
crossover that I swore I jumped up from the screen and started yelling, "It's the Justice League! That's the hall! That's right there!" And they've never used it as anything, but it was like that was you know what I'm talking about the Hall of Justice.
Yeah, there's a building that looks like that in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
And
they were like that was their little base of operations. And I was like, "This is the Justice League.
Nice.
It's gonna be so." And then the Justice League did nothing, and then they didn't, and I was so sad.
Let me ask you, The Legends of Tomorrow, that TV show, I watched like a season and a half, and I was lost in like the 50 bazillion minor plots that were going on there. I just got bored with it.
Really?
I mean,
love
do
it.
you
We're
love
in the
it?
middle of season 3. I love it. They
It's just-
came out with season 3 just a little while ago.
Yeah.
We binged watched 6 episodes the first day it came out.
Gotcha.
We love it. I mean, I really like the depth of the story. I think what really helps me with Legends of Tomorrow is the fact that at the end of season 1, and this shouldn't be a spoiler if it is, where they said we're picking all of you people because in the time that I come from, 25 blah blah blah, 500 years in the future, you were already legends. So you need to help us out. And they spend the whole first season finding out what
I watched it forever.
that they were pulled from the timeline because if they crashed and burned and disappeared and never
they were
went home,
Inconsequential.
that they were inconsequential. That
Yeah.
the timeline would change not at all if they dried up and blew away.
So
And
they
they were
were
like,
thirsty.
okay.
yeah, and they were like,
You sold me oceanfront property in Arizona, you bastard.
and they're like, well, wait for the earthquake. It'll be a good thing. And
Yeah.
it was and so then in season 2, they finally go, you know what? Well, you know what? We're going to do that whole legend thing, whether you want us to or not. It's time. We're going to kick in the door, and we will be legends because we're making the choice to be.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's really kind of this empowering, like, what do you do with a group of superheroes who are sort of fringy, not really the A-listers?
The answer is you curse them with Brandon Routh.
Oh, I like Brendan Ralph.
Yeah,
Brandon
says
Routh?
no one ever.
He
Come on.
was
Who's Brandon Ralph? Who's he
No,
playing?
he
the
was-
guy who he played Superman originally.
He was Adam.
yeah.
Adam and
The
Oh, okay,
knockoff Ant-Man and Iron
Yeah.
Man.
No,
the Atom.
Yeah.
Brendan Routh. I'm going to give a hot take here. I like Superman Returns. I
Is
thought
that the
it
one
was-
where he gets shot in the eye with the bullet?
Yeah.
That's the one with Kevin Spacey as Luthor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kryptonite.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, I thought it was like emotionally and like thematically, it was resonant of Superman.
Yeah.
It was like it hit all the bases. Like Lois Lane was was cool enough to do her thing, and it was interesting. There were some stylistic choices, but I mean, part of it is that it was still very much still under the shadow of the old movies, a little more. I mean, it was sort of a direct sequel, kind of, but it worked, and it didn't. It was like it was cool that it felt like hopeful and not like the sort of like glowering monster that Superman is in the
in the Zack Snyder days,
in the CGI lip deal.
I liked it too, and I know Kevin Spacey's a hot button, but I really liked Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor the best thing after Gene Hackman.
I mean, really, because movie Lex Luthor is very much his own animal.
Oh yeah,
where he is, very much his own very specific thing that he's got going on. He's not the same super genius industrialist who runs for president and whatever that he is in the comics. He's doing his own super criminal thing.
Right. Right. So that brings us back when we talk about super criminals and the masterminds and the destruction of all that is holy. I have a couple of follow-ups.
Uh-oh.
As a very last, we'll work towards wrapping. There is one stinger at the end of
because nothing says loving like a big stinger.
Yeah, exactly. Ask Torch Lorne; he'll tell you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So for our listeners of the Star Trek podcast,
yeah,
we are developing our own mythology here.
Isn't that great? And for those of you that my storyteller who runs it now has this look on his face like, oh, you remembered. Yeah. Oh, do we have an update? No? Okay, I thought you had something that you were going to add on the mic. So there is one stinger at the end of Infinity War. You want to stick around for it.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, news alert, Batman. I'm sitting there.
Oh, here's actually, before we get into that, for the record, non-spoiler, you will have time to go to the bathroom and come back before the end.
It's
credits.
literally it's 10 minutes.
You will, and once you see the stinger. So you're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing: after you see the stinger, and you watch that piece of glory, you can then go and use the restroom and come back.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fine. You want to see the very last line of the credits.
Oh yes.
Very worth seeing. And by the way, spoiler alert, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
This was the very first Marvel movie, and they've been doing this for 10 years. Mm-hmm. How many? Do we have a total on how many total?
There's
movies?
like 18.
Right, like
17 or 18.
It's an ungodly. This is the first one where dun dun dun, and the credits start rolling. And I looked around the theater, and nobody was getting up and leaving. And I went, it took long enough. You finally figured it out.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
And it was like people were waiting for the stinger, and it was like, oh, I'm impressed. Yeah. Now, I was also feeding like the deliciousness off of the general crowd reaction.
Well, because you love to drink the tears of small children.
I do. It was so good.
Yeah.
And second opinion, it has an incredible rewatch value. You can see it a second time. You may not want to, but you can.
Yeah.
I've watched it twice. It was really, really good.
Nice.
I liked it. I'm thinking about going back a third time.
I'm trying to suss out whether this is going to be like their Empire Strikes Back, or if this is going to fade from the consciousness once the second part comes out.
I don't know. And so we've been asked, and I want to go around the table and ask this, and this might be your next Facebook post or your next Facebook poll. I don't know. When is it appropriate to openly and publicly discuss spoiler-sensitive information about Avengers: Infinity War?
In general, I believe it's
one, if you will.
Okay, I would
This
say
one.
okay. I would say 90 days for a movie.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If you don't see it in 90 days, you really don't care that
I'd say a year for a video game.
No.
Because I mean, people play at different paces. But I'd say,
Sure.
in general, people can,
Hey, by the way,
Like-
what year is it?
it is 2018.
I just found out about Malik
Oh,
and Revan. I just found that.
that's from what 2002, 2004.
Yeah, right in there. I just found that out.
That's my best.
End
That's
of
my
last
favorite
year.
part of. We're recording, by the way, on May the 4th.
Right.
May the 4th.
Which
be
I
with you.
had
Yeah.
something to throw into it.
But honestly, Knights of the Old Republic is some of my
Solid.
favorite memories of Star Wars.
And like I said, so 15 years after it came out, I finally finished it. And kudos, that game is kick ass. So Infinity War 1, when can we, because I have a solid take on this, I think.
See, I think spoilers when it comes out on DVD, Blu-ray.
Really?
Yeah.
90 days.
See,
I
because I
think-
think 1 year after 1 year and 1 week after Infinity War 2 drops, you can talk about spoilers on 1.
No,
What?
that's ridiculous.
So,
Well,
if you were so concerned about spoilers, I'll even say a week after the DVD release, you've got, it's in theaters, you keep your mouth shut, maybe a week or two after the DVDs come out, because not everybody can afford to run out to the theater with their whole family.
Yeah. Right.
But after that point, if you haven't seen it,
Go to Redbox. It's
you're
like $2.
you're not a person who's concerned about spoilers.
Nope.
Well,
Also,
but
the
you're gonna
entire
complain about 'em.
Yeah.
entire idea of spoilers was created by Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes.
In order to have people not ruin Psycho. So.
Yeah.
I mean-
that's fantastic. It's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it,
In the end, she dies. It's too soon.
Vivian
Too
Lee,
soon.
she's the main character. She can't die halfway through for no reason.
Was that Vivian Lee?
Yes, it's Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right. I didn't know that. I had a thing about Vivian Lee.
was it Vivian Lee? I'm pretty sure it's Vivian Lee.
Vivian Lee trashed my first
Hotel room.
relationship
Oh, jeez.
because I had this girl that I loved and we were in 10th grade and everything was really nice. And then this other girl started flirting with me and she looked just like Vivian Lee. And I,
Went
as
to
a
hell.
dumb male, went, I'm going to switch over and think with my other brain and wandered
Hey.
into things I shouldn't have done. It was terrible.
I had an aunt essentially who got so pissed when the Norman Bates TV show came out. I think it's AMC.
Bates
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
Bates
sorry.
Motel.
Janet Lee. Janet Lee.
Janet Lee. Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
But she was pissed when I was talking about this stuff, essentially saying that don't give me spoilers about the TV show. And it's like, this is based on a movie that was like 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, but it's based on the universe. Like,
No, but I mean,
it's not. It's
What
not.
does that mean?
it's all prequel stuff leading
There,
to
right.
the, to the
There are
end.
things that could be spoiled. I mean, you know the end result, but there's things.
Well, no, she had never seen the movie, so
Oh.
so I'm just like that's what I'm getting at. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The movie's like
Whoa,
40, 50
whoa.
years old.
No,
Come
this
on.
guy goes in, fantasizes about his mother, squirts chocolate sauce all over the shower curtain, tears it down, and then we see it getting washed down the drain. And that's all. And then everybody lives happily ever after.
Right, yeah.
I don't know what there is to spoil.
Like it's
Yeah,
called.
right?
It's called Psycho.
Get out of here.
I have something I want.
And then there's
Psycho for
the
desserts in the shower.
there's the phonetic. It's not hyperbole. What is it when you onomatopoeia?
Bam.
Okay,
Onomatopoeia.
there it is.
Bam,
That's
smack.
onomatopoeia.
That was a clang.
Yeah,
Pow.
that was a clang, right? The onomatopoeia of again, 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 again. You know, in Psycho, re. Get it? No, is that?
But no,
I
it's just,
get it. I just want you to
don't like
like.
it.
I just want you to get in your car and drive away.
Hey,
I'm fired.
but that's just an example that a lot of people will do that stuff. It's like the movie's been out for decades. Like
It came out in
come on.
1960. I just
Like,
looked
come
at
on.
it.
Yeah, right.
Can I
So-
spoil Beaches yet?
all right, what is Beaches? I don't
It's
know.
the
You
one-
are the
that's
wind
the one with-
beneath my wing. Isn't that
Bette Midler
No,
and Cher.
spoiler alert. No,
Spoiler. In the end, she dies.
I don't care.
Steel Magnolias?
Right.
Carrie
Can I spoil
Fisher.
that?
Yes.
Carrie
Can I
Fisher.
spoil the end of Return of the Jedi?
No. That one has a no statute of limitations.
Shut up.
Right. Rosebud is a sled.
No.
Okay.
Spoilers.
From his Darth Vader is Luke's father.
This is oh my god.
What?
A monster.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Anakin
No,
Skywalker
it's
is Darth Vader.
impossible.
Right. And made C-3PO. And R2D2.
Oh,
Yeah. I
look,
think no, he made
that's
C-3PO.
silly.
He didn't make
That
R2.
is rebel propaganda. That is rebel propaganda to make
BS.
Darth Vader
John has snapped.
look silly. I've decided. It's like, oh yeah, and they're associated with the Gungans for some reason because everybody hates them.
You have
They're
gone
just-
too far.
The Gungans are responsible for the rise of the Empire. That's why you should hate it. It is the prequels are rebel propaganda. I'm
Hey,
telling you.
Darth,
Could be.
Darth Binks.
Could be.
Okay.
Darth Binks.
Well, we're on the
Uh-oh.
subject of Star Wars, and
Yeah.
today's Star Wars Day.
Yes.
We're gonna do your Star Wars name.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So get a pencil and
right.
paper.
Got it.
Got it.
No, you don't. Lies.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a Sith. Go ahead.
Darth Triana.
But yeah, Postcards from the Edge was Carrie Fisher.
Nice. Okay, what's this?
Okay.
What are we gonna
So you take the first 3 letters of your last name
do? Uh-huh.
and the first 2 letters of your first name. That's your Star Wars first name.
Jack Joe.
Jack Joe. What's your Scott?
Trosa.
What was it again?
It's
Trosk.
the first
Trosk.
3 letters of your last name
That's a Tuscan
and the
Raider if I've
first
ever heard
2
one.
letters of your first name.
Okay, that's our-
Garjo sounds very,
'Kay.
Jack Joe.
So and I'm Dougja. Your last name is the first 2 letters of your mother's maiden name
Okay.
and the first 3 letters of the city you were born in.
First
Oh,
three,
okay.
say
This
the
is
last
changed
one
from
again.
Last one.
Yeah.
So-
the first 2 letters of your mother's maiden name
Yeah.
Okay.
and the first 3 letters of the city you were born in.
Jack Joe Kerwee. Yes.
Garjo We War.
This is bullshit. No.
Mine is Dougja Pecci.
You are petchy.
Trosk Hasid.
Oh, he's
you're a
Sith.
terrorist if I ever heard one.
I'm a freighter pilot that runs out of Mos Eisley.
Boba Fett was your cousin.
Never have I seen a more wretched hive of scrum and villainy.
Jack Joe
'Cause
Kerwee.
I'm a scrum master by trade.
Get out of here.
Audrey's is Lefau Dolnd.
Damn French.
No,
they're even in
Duend.
Star Wars.
Duend. Not that's not an L. That's an I. I can't even.
The wind. All right.
Duend.
Duend.
Lefau. She's even French in Star Wars.
Nice.
Horrible.
So, all right. So in the end,
Nothing really,
Really
matters.
matters.
God bless
Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't even matter. Excuse me.
nothing really matters to you.
No, wait.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
Chester.
Any
it
way the
doesn't.
wind blows, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Is that what I'm
Oh,
going
we're
here?
gonna save it. We're gonna go Queen. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Hey, we got a few more answers on the.
The Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Whoever thinks that hasn't seen his full catalog.
Boom.
The Saint,
We already know
No.
that.
Tombstone,
Yes.
Island of Dr. Moreau,
No.
No.
Top
Yeah,
Gun,
no.
Yes.
The Doors.
No.
Come on now. And then another person says, "Wow, that's short-sighted."
I
He's
gotta.
a horrible actor.
I gotta say.
I get that people can have different opinions, but off the top of my head,
Horrible.
I like Top Secret,
No.
Real Genius,
Oh wait, he was
Haven't
in
heard
Top
that.
Secret. I forgot.
Yes.
Batman
Have you
Forever.
seen Top Secret?
Yes. No.
Spartan, Heat,
No idea.
Tombstone,
No.
Willow, Top Gun.
Cow
I gotta
or
say.
Boots, you gotta.
I
shut
gotta
up.
say though. No. I'm afraid we're not going to give a
No.
pass for the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Hell no. There's 4. I will give him 4.
But I mean,
He
That's
said,
it.
I didn't care for him in The Doors, but that's because I don't care for Jim Morrison. The work was good, and ironically, I do like The Doors' music. There are more.
Doors are okay. No.
Yeah. And
4.
then
I completely forgot about Top Secret. That is a genius movie. Right up there with Kentucky Fried Movie, Amazon Women on the Moon, and
Oh.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer
somebody
Tomatoes, that's
said
good stuff.
just Tombstone.
Okay.
And Scott's wife said went through his filmography on IMDb. Top Gun and Real Genius.
Ooh.
What does my wife know? She married me.
That's a good point.
That's my
Not
defense there.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kathy.
So anyway, 4. That's it.
No. There's definitely
6 minimum.
Never.
Minimum.
Batman.
Maybe in
7.
maybe in dog years, but no.
Wow.
Nope. No.
Oh
So-
wait, what are the 3? Somebody asked me what the 3 are. Top Gun is the only one I can think of. So what were your 3? Willow.
No, I misspoke because I forgot about Tombstone.
Well,
There's
we're-
4.
yeah,
I know,
okay.
I know. Do
Okay,
whatever
so
you want.
Willow,
Top
Top Gun,
Gun.
the Tombstone.
What was your?
And then Real Genius. Even
Real
though I haven't
Genius.
seen it, but everybody says it's amazing.
So you
There's like
You base your
Laszlo,
opinion.
the guy who lives in the steam
Yes.
tunnels and climbs out of people's closets
Uh-huh.
in the dorms.
Yeah.
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 He would be. I played with I LARPed with a guy who had that guy as like. He was a Tremere, and he had that guy as his ghoul.
Of course he did.
As his, going around the
Nice.
university.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That sounds kind of good.
Whoop, whoop.
So you have very little taste in movies. Who
Val
is-
Kilmer movies? The answer is yes.
See, but every time you've asked him if he's seen a movie, he's like, "Yeah, I've seen it. I don't remember it."
Yeah, exactly.
He's got
right?
movie.
That
he's
is
got
movie
movie amnesia.
amnesia.
That is
Yeah.
not true.
You have said that at least 3 times
I
tonight.
have not said those
3
words at
dozen
all.
You said that about The Hangover.
No,
You
I've
didn't
seen
remember
it.
the ending. You
Yes,
said that
one.
about Pitch Black,
Uh-huh.
No, I've seen it. You
Yeah,
said
but I can't remember it.
but I don't remember.
I did not say that.
You did. I don't.
I did not say that. I said the
Raise your
Shining of the
hands if
Eyes-
he said that.
No, it's not true.
No, I
You're-
remember what he said.
You're
He
wrong,
did
and
say
that was not true.
He
so anyway,
he didn't remember other like the best lines from it.
yeah,
right?
the Shining
'Cause
or
he
whatever
has
to be able to
movie
see in the
amnesia.
dark.
Anyway,
Shine
So
job.
once,
Anyway.
yes.
So what's your favorite film of all time?
One of my well, you guys won't agree with it, but
What is
well,
it?
okay,
Didn't
yeah,
ask.
because we're going to make
let's all
fun of
answer.
you.
Let's,
Yeah.
let's just all answer
Yeah.
this.
You know what? That's go ahead.
my favorite movie of all time is Braveheart. I love Braveheart, even though it is historically inaccurate. I
Yes.
love the
Doesn't
movie.
have to be historically accurate. It's a movie. Okay.
I really like Braveheart.
No, I want to
though.
touch on this. A movie
Don't
is
you touch me on that. Stop it! Ah!
Code of
movies,
conduct. Code of conduct.
movies are intended to be an escape from the real world. It doesn't always have to be accurate unless you're saying this is an accurate depiction and this is a documentary.
Based
No,
on a true story.
based on and even based
Even
on a
when
true
they
story.
say that, it's
Well,
usually-
It's
also they
based on.
Also, honestly, the Longshank's wife was sort of the more interesting character because she's the one who goes on a killing frenzy after the events of that movie.
correct.
It
Like
was-
somebody argued that the legitimacy of Jurassic Park was
What?
that Jeff Goldblum's character was what ruined the realism of it.
What?
Jeff
Really?
Goldblum's character. You went into a movie about a man who reconstructed dino DNA with frog DNA and brought back dinosaurs, and Jeff Goldblum's character with chaos theory is what ruined it for you.
That is
Go to
Does-
the movie.
Does not survive the first book.
Go to the movie and enjoy the movie.
That is
I'm glad
that is
well,
awesome.
I'm glad that they
That's
didn't
a
kill off his
valid
character
point.
in the movie.
Well, but Jurassic Park, the thing that ruined the reality wasn't the dinosaurs,
Right?
Like, honestly,
Dinosaurs and man being together in the same place. That's not what ruined it for you.
Exactly. So, I'm not going to knock your favorite movie from the anti-Semite point of view. I'm not going to knock it from the Woad Warrior point of view.
He's gonna knock it from
Woad
something.
Warrior.
I'm not going to knock it from the it wasn't historically accurate in any
God.
other way.
Well, because I mean, if
Tell
you're
me
going
when-
to start going into
Tell me when you get to
inaccuracies-
your point. I'll take a nap.
So there's that one scene.
Which?
You can take away my thing, but you can't take away my freedom. Hey, you know that scene.
and then they
right?
dismember,
And
disembowel,
that's the scene.
castrate.
No, he goes running up and down with the horse, and that's it. That's the whole movie right there. in
Well, no,
about
after they capture
3
him.
minutes. That's it. That's the entire movie. That's it.
I don't remember the rest of it very well.
Yeah, the rest of it's
Got
not
movie
worth-
amnesia?
I just
What
fast-
the hell?
I just fast forwarded until I got to that scene, and I watched it, and I went, "That's a good scene."
You fast forward 2 hours, like, this is what I wanted. I'm
Yeah, and then I was like, and we're done here, and I didn't even watch the battle. It was like, whatever. It's not historically accurate
Dudes
anyhow.
getting their
Yeah.
bits cut off. Hey, you know what the response is when somebody says, "Hey, this is not historically accurate." You're like, "Well, okay. Well, actually, in Pokemon the movie,
Oh,
Pikachu's electricity power would not have worked
Would
that
never
well
have worked that
against the
way,
Earth type
ever.
Okay, Scott, what's your favorite movie?
Gone with the Wind.
John?
It's a good movie.
No rips on that. No nothing. No takeaways.
I'm
That's a
going to
good mo-
say
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I am going to say
Better be British.
Vertigo.
Well, that's
It
a good
better
movie.
be British.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be British. Shut up, you.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't
Racist.
make the rules. I
Nobody
just
said
live
yours
by
had to
them.
be historically accurate. Let's go.
Right?
All right, Vertigo.
Vertigo.
Jade.
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Really, of all time? Yeah.
Of all time.
Labyrinth is top 5 for me.
I can watch that. Top 5. Jurassic Park's up in top 5, too.
Okay, 1
But
for
yeah.
2 ain't bad.
I'd
That's
also
good.
say Blade Runner's up there.
What do you got? What?
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 You don't like
You like
Jurassic Park?
Oh my god. No, I didn't. Jurassic Park was okay. It was okay. Sorry, John. I love you.
I
Okay,
forgot
it
what
was
we were
really
talking
good.
about.
You said Vertigo, and then you said your British movie.
Also,
He didn't say British movie.
Also,
I know. I was
Blade
waiting
Runner.
for it.
Blade Runner's really good.
It's got Harrison Ford.
You know, yeah.
I'm down with anything with Harrison
and,
Ford.
you know, Ridley Scott. I guess it's
See,
anyway.
I
So
love
anyhow,
Harrison Ford at all stages of life.
Empire.
All stages. Like
Nice.
Harrison Ford anywhere.
Empire's top 5.
We
Yeah.
really should be talking top 5, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
To not like grade everyone on one.
All right, so let's
I mean-
see your
well,
top
also,
5 Val
well,
Kilmer
also there's
movies.
There's only 4, brother. There's only 4.
also there's the entire thing of like, well, I mean, is it a movie that you would have a good time watching, or is it like a movie that you respect? Is it like for its craft?
I mean, I guess you're
I
deciding.
guess there's Shining. The
No,
Shining.
time out. What
is
you
up
what
there.
you enjoy, your favorite, because it matters to you.
Whether
and
it's something
whatever.
you could
I'd
watch
say-
over and over.
I'd say The Shining is up there.
That's
as well.
creepy. All right, I got
It's
you.
pretty
Great
creepy.
movie.
Does everybody know about the Shining and the theory about the
Twins.
conversation that it makes about fiat currency? Gold
I-
currency versus...
I have not heard that theory. I've watched Room 237. That was the documentary that they did for all of the theories, ranging from the, from the pretty mild to, and quirky to like the batshit insane.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about fiat currency.
We'll talk
in
about
that.
it later. We'll have another one of these. It's
Good.
really interesting. Good. All righty. So top 5 movies of all time.
Oh, you're looking at me?
I'm looking. No, you can't tell.
No, no,
Thanks. Top 5 movies of all time. Are we allowed to have funny movies on this list?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
wait, you say of all time, just your top 5
your top
favorite
five.
movies.
Five
Yeah.
movies that you absolutely love.
But yeah, whatever you want, man.
Well, because that's just because my thought is you got to have 2 lists. You got to have like the serious craft list.
No, you don't.
I
think-
mean, okay,
Random.
it's like maybe I don't feel like watching A Gear Wrath of God all the time, but
Right. So you'd put Ghostbusters on the list.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
These are
Yeah.
your
If you
personal.
wanted,
Just
yeah.
you go to your movie
But,
shelf
but would
and
you put Blazing Saddles on the list?
Yes.
I would, yes.
So
Yes.
here's the
That's
thing.
actually
'Cause
one of
here's
my-
what
I
I'm.
was
This is my conundrum. I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, and I think Blazing Saddles is hysterical.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, when racism was, well, I guess we're in 2019, we've got new Nazis, so I guess that's,
It's
I
come
guess
back.
racism is making a comeback. So,
The sheriff is near.
yeah, he said the sheriff is
he
near.
said the word.
And it's just,
Remember that one.
and it's, so if I sat down and showed
Jerk.
them this
What, Val
movie,
Kilmer?
I would be worried that that they would quote it out of context, and
Right.
Get their asses beat.
and or that I would have to explain half of it and go, well, you see,
This is
the
hate-
white entitled folk were really
Yep.
down on the black man, so that's how that works. And it's just like that's why he kept saying the sheriff is near, because it was an N word. Oh, I get it, and it's just like,
No.
bless you.
So, well, I mean, whew, that's a good question. I mean, because I mean, really, it's like maybe they should not learn about all those things from their shit-eating 10-year-old friends before you can get to them.
Right.
Um,
so I kind of sit back and say, okay, The Sixth Sense. There's one.
M.
that-
Night Shyamalan.
That's his only movie. M. Night
Okay.
Shyamalan.
Okay.
Okay.
You got credibility
I'm
back with
I'm
that
going to say
statement.
officially that it is the least the lamest form, and that's another ableist slur. The most lame form of criticism to make fun of the dude's name.
What?
I
Oh,
enjoy his
yeah.
movies.
I wasn't
just
making
like
fun of his
saying,
name.
If you're
M.
gonna
Night
make,
Shyamalan ding
Hey.
dong.
No. We're
movie-
not going to mispronounce his name. It has been 10 years. The joke is done. We're done.
John, please.
The joke,
Yeah.
the joke has been done for years with him.
Yeah.
He made the movie Signs,
He's
which is
hey,
horrid.
I love Signs.
Really, John?
Yeah.
Extraterrestrials come to the
I'm
one
just
place
saying
that has
it is-
70% of what
it is the
kill them.
low-hanging
Stupid.
fruit.
Stupid.
The low-hanging fruit
John.
of comedy.
It's again.
John,
Yes.
can I ask you a favor?
It's a movie.
yes.
I went
not-
in for the
No,
escape.
you may, no, I may
not
not. I will
historically
not
accurate.
wash the sand out of my vajayjay.
No, John.
Whoa.
No, hold on.
What'd you
I have
say?
a question. I have a
What'd you
question
say,
for John.
Sandy? I'm
I
sorry.
have a question for John.
Yeah.
John, can you please not take this from me? Okay. go ahead.
I drink your tears. They are delicious.
So let me lay down signs for you, just in case you're wondering.
It's a
okay,
horrible
It's like
movie.
5% of the way. I'm going to do percentages
Go
through
ahead,
this
go
movie.
ahead.
Okay,
I thought we were doing a top 5
5.
list.
It is.
This better not be on your top 5 list.
5% of the way into this movie, you're like, okay, this is a good movie. 50%, 15% of the way into the movie, you're like, this is a good movie. 25% of the way into the movie, you're like, this is a great movie. 50% of the way into the movie, you're like, this is perhaps one of the greatest movies of all time. 75% of the way into the movie, you're like, this is the greatest textbook on horror movies I have ever seen. It has taken the best parts of Jaws and The Birds and has tied them all together. This is what War of the Worlds wished it could be. 90% of the way in, you're like, this is an Academy Award-winning triumph of proportions that I cannot describe to you. 95% of the way into the movie, you're like, I'm going to get a platinum copy of this to show my grandchildren's grandchildren. This is the greatest vision of horror that I've ever seen. 98% of the way into the movie, it is the worst movie I've ever seen.
It is a soft turd.
It is.
that
It
must
is
never be spoken of again.
shit, the variety
Oh,
of which
wait,
I
wait.
cannot even stomach.
We messed up here.
Credits, roll scene.
We messed up here. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Oh, spoiler, sorry.
But no, I mean, the thing is, M.
Horrible.
Night Shyamalan is a great director who unfortunately often works with a terrible writer called M. Night Shyamalan.
Well, but I would like to point out here that a plot twist is not, by definition, plot.
It's just, it can be just some
Hey,
stuff that happens.
A second good, I think it's M. Night Shyamalan movie. It wasn't Split. Wasn't that an M. Night Shyamalan
I think so.
I
movie?
don't even know what you're talking about.
It's
With,
newer,
he
mo-
was.
newer
Yeah.
movie that came out in the last 6 months.
James McAvoy.
Yes,
Yes.
essentially about a paranoid schizophrenic. I
He's
don't-
got multiple personality.
Yes.
He's like a rare case of multiple personality.
That was actually
And he's kidnapped these young women, and one of the personalities is like a murderer.
yeah,
and they
Rebecca
are,
or something like that.
Yeah, and they are trying to get away before his
Hey.
crazy personality
But
that
anyway,
wants to kill
the,
them comes
the
out. Yeah.
beast.
But it was that was actually a great movie. And
Yeah, I
I
thought it
was
was
sad
pretty
when
good.
I heard that was M. Night Shyamalan. But
But I mean, you know,
That
the thing
actually
is
was a
that
great
he-
because
he
you're
does
judgy.
yeah,
He does.
Oh yeah.
He does have great talent. And
No,
it's just
not true.
Okay,
But,
so top 5. Jackson.
am I going right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right now. On the spot.
Braveheart, the movie Powder, I loved.
I've never seen it.
It
It was
great.
pretty good.
It was a great movie. Labyrinth,
Yep.
just because it meant a lot to me in my childhood. The never-ending story.
Nice. Luck Dragons.
false advertising.
Right?
Wait,
It ended.
Wait, I have to ask the question.
Yeah.
That was the moment your childhood was ruined, wasn't it? When Artax goes down in the swamp.
Yes.
Yes.
I think every child.
Because
horrible.
Because in the 80s, stuff just randomly got intensely real, and you're like, shit gets really real sometimes. Just at random, it will be, I think Infinity War might be that for a lot of
Right.
people.
Agreed.
Right.
And then fifth, huge Lord of the Rings fan from the books. I love the movies. I lumped them into one.
Fair.
And then last but certainly not least, for TV, I have one that I absolutely love. I think it's one of the best of all
TV
time.
movie?
TV series, whatever. Battlestar Galactica.
That's
the
a good
remake.
one. Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
So, yeah,
I
well-
loved it.
These guys keep wanting to go like full on airlock Rosalind in the Star Trek
Trek.
game.
It was actually a great love story. It really
Some of
was.
us less than other. Yeah. Well, love stories can start with a murder.
I had one of
Scott?
my former roommates. He was saying that
He was a murderer?
no.
Okay, I was just trying to say.
A different former roommate.
Oh.
He was saying that he thought that they didn't do proper follow through on the cancer plotline in Battlestar Galactica. And I'm like, dude, she did die of the cancer. I mean, what more
What more
what
follow
more
through?
follow-up? It's like, well, they kept like teasing it, and well, will she or won't she? And
John,
like,
spoilers.
spoilers from 2004.
Yeah, it truly was. Anyway,
But I mean, like, yeah, it's like, no, they followed through. I think that was not,
no,
a
I did.
tease.
Scott, what about you? Top 5.
All right, top 5. Gone with the Wind.
Great movie.
Empire. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Memento,
Okay.
which was, you've not seen that? Have you seen it?
I think I have.
I don't remember.
No,
No, I have, but I don't
Time
remember
out.
the movie.
I saw it, but I was inebriated, so I don't.
Yeah.
So he doesn't remember.
It doesn't matter.
By the way, so many people left that movie in the middle of the movie.
But the end, I hear, makes it
If
everything.
you don't hear the last line of the movie,
It doesn't
you
matter.
don't get it. Like I guarantee you.
It's like the reverse of Signs.
It's
right?
like
Yes.
John G.
Yes.
I'm a John G.
Yeah, exactly. Now, where were we?
3.
Oh, 3. I'm trying to think back to all of the movies that I own.
Shit, I was trying to do that too.
Aliens.
That's actually a great pick.
Yeah.
That is a
Just
that is a-
iconic, just
Yeah,
like
oh, yeah.
culture change. Like, that's great.
Yeah, and one of the best badass lady role leading actress.
Vasquez.
Ripley. No, Ripley.
Ripley.
Oh, well, her
Wow,
name
yeah.
is.
Vasquez got
Yeah.
one of the best
Hey.
lines. Let's rock.
Yeah.
I almost put Jaws in there as well. Jaws.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
going to say Jaws.
And
Jaws was
and
6 for me.
And I'm on there, and I'm going, okay,
It's-
aliens.
To quote Kevin Smith, it's not like a shark never ate anybody.
No, but no, seriously, when you were a kid, when you saw that movie and the rest of your childhood, you're in a freaking pool just
You're like,
looking underwater like,
looking
is there a
out.
shot? Is there a shark here?
Is there a shark here?
Yeah, shark here.
Yeah.
That movie affected lives. It did.
Oh yeah,
My
What?
Universal Studios had the Jaws ride.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
my
went on
sister
that.
was like 5 or 6.
Oh, it was great.
And here comes the shark from the side, and she like flipped over my dad's lap, like in between my
Aw.
parents, because she looked.
Now she's mute and won't speak to anyone.
I wish. No.
Oh.
Sorry, sister.
She's not. She's smiling.
So we saw Jaws for the first time, and,
Oh.
I had to freak out, and I was,
Hell yeah.
and I was right next to my mother. I would not leave her side. Okay, we were in the middle of Western Pennsylvania. There's no friggin' water around anywhere, and I go with her, and she goes in. She sits down to use the restroom. Like I go into the bathroom with her. I'm like, I'm not. She's like, go wait outside. I'm like, no. And she sits down on the toilet, and then goes. And jumps up, and I scream my head off. She's like, "You thought a shark came out of the toilet?" It was terrible.
And this is how you ended up how you is.
exactly.
Oh, it's all
And
downhill.
So we went in and we lay down in bed, and I slept with my parents that night. And this is the noise that we heard verbatim. My mother made the sound, and here is my response, and it went exactly like this. She sniffed, and any noise, any movement, it was terrible. It was a shocker. So Jaws does get an honorable mention.
Hey, another terrifying movie for me. This was a made-for-TV movie.
It?
But it was it.
Oh my God!
Seriously?
I
That's one
was
of those-
terrified
That's one of
of
those-
drains
It's my
and
cousin.
showers.
It's my cousin.
That's one of those cases where the child actors were actually a damn sight better than the adults.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. But no, it just you think of it. I saw that when I was 12 years old, but it was terrifying.
I was probably Audrey's. I was like 7 or 8.
yeah.
And
It.
I
I
was
saw-
afraid of drains in my shower. I was afraid, like I stood
saw
to the back of
Poltergeist.
showers, away from the drains.
Poltergeist, yeah, the
when I was like
scariest movie I never saw.
6,
Yeah,
7,
It was okay.
and I had a bad babysitter who just watched our HBO. Oh God!
So did you list
So-
all 5?
number
Number
5,
5.
Ghostbusters.
Okay, and
That
then
was
since he
good.
picked a TV show, favorite TV show,
Yeah, pick one.
Oh, my favorite TV show of all time.
all time.
So we should do a top 5 list of that on our
No,
next one.
yeah.
Favorite TV show of all time was Stargate SG-1.
That's a good one. Yeah.
10 years of solid
All right.
sci-fi.
It was
Okay,
good.
so I've said Vertigo, Blade Runner,
Very good.
Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Okay.
Great movie.
That was a really good movie.
Great movie.
Let's see some other ones that are maybe something more recent.
Now, this is your top 5 list
Yeah,
of
this
all
is
time.
yours.
Of all time, oh my God.
So if you put new
Jeez,
stuff on there, go
John.
ahead.
Let's see. I was going to say Jaws because I mean that's
Yes.
that's
There it
up
is.
there. And I'll say The Shining.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And
Damn
TV
good
show.
movie.
TV show. I'm going to say Babylon 5.
Oh,
I'm gonna make
Michael J. Straczynski.
Yeah, I'm gonna go old school.
Good
They had
stuff.
this rivalry with Star Trek, but ultimately I like steaks and ice cream. I can like both.
Yes, you can.
Well, but okay, so here's my
They-
Garibaldi and Deep Space Nine got darker and grittier. It was where I'm sorry, Babylon 5 got darker and grittier.
Yeah.
It's where Deep Space Nine wanted to go.
I can see that. I mean, because there were elements. I mean, you could tell that they were sort of champing at the bit a little bit of the world imposed on them by Roddenberry, that they wanted to explore like how the Federation was like this kind of colonialist power that wasn't really the but I mean like everybody is in love with Deep Space Nine for how their characters, like, it's easy to be a saint in paradise, and that's kind of what that's kind of like they always found a way of redeeming their choices in
Pale Moonlight.
In like next gen.
Right, exactly.
Like Whoopi Goldberg called them like biblical style stories.
Yeah.
Hey, Deep Space Nine, Garrick was my favorite character.
Yeah.
I loved him. Did you read the book?
I did not.
Oh, so the guy that played Andrew Robbins, the guy that plays Garrick, wrote a book called Stitch in Time, which was how Garrick went through the Cardassian military and into the Obsidian Order. He writes it from the point of view of Garrick. Absolute must read.
I do want to read that.
Must read.
I'm okay with that.
You're very excited.
But
directions.
and I mean, it's really easy with Star Trek to forget the era that it's from, because a lot of the time, because I mean, until somebody shows up with like 80s shoulder pads, you forget that they're,
Hey, don't knock the Tal Shiar. They had they were very much like Office.
But no, there's always some wrinkly forehead alien that shows up in like. In some like really unfortunate moose knuckle leotard.
Hey, maybe it's the 80s on their planet.
What did a moose ever do to you?
That's why I think that Superman needs to put the trunks back on.
Don't
moose
back
knuckle,
over this.
The
Don't
moose knuckle is problematic.
Time out.
John, don't knuckle under on this one.
Oh,
Jade's turn.
Okay, Jade, what do you got?
Top 5, Labyrinth.
Yep.
Huh?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, great movie.
So good. Wizard of Oz.
The original.
The original. Yeah.
I didn't know if you were going to go sideways on that. It's a very good movie. We watched it every year when it came on.
Yeah. And then my other two are weird and going to sound pretentious, but
Well, can I give you? Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the Wizard of Oz Dark Side of the Moon?
I haven't, but I think for a long time, somewhere in like Garfield Park or Fountain Square,
They run it.
Yeah.
Worth seeing.
Yeah.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about? I'm just
You turn
no
on
idea.
Dark
at
Side
a
of the
certain
Moon.
point in the opening credits for Wizard of Oz. You turn on the Dark Side of the Moon album and you play that
Audio
soundtrack,
over the
The Wizard of
film
Oz.
with no. You turn off the audio for the film and
Okay.
play that, and it like apparently like
syncs up
with
amazingly.
the album.
in
it's like
the
when
90s,
Ozzy Osbourne's album's playing backwards and it's a
Yeah,
sync
sure,
thing.
something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
in the 90s, I remember we happened on a thing where we were flipping channels and we were watching like a BBC production of Jane Eyre to Prodigy's Fat of the Land, and it started to sync up, and we're like, wow, this is very bizarre.
Very nice.
Interesting.
So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So
Okay.
Yeah.
go ahead for the other two.
Number 4 is a foreign film, Amelie.
Oh,
Okay.
I love Amelie.
Great movie.
So good. And then the last one is a really obscure one. It's called Fur. It's got
idea.
it's got Nicole Kidman and Robert Downey Jr. And I cannot remember for the life of me the name. It's a fictional. The woman that she plays is a real photographer who did like very avant-garde photography in like the 50s and 60s, like Diane something. But it's a fictional portrait of her, is what it's called, or it says.
Is she the one that did the Berlin pictures? She was the.
I don't know.
Okay, carry on.
But Robert Downey Jr. plays a character who's one of the people that grows hair like completely like head to toe, like the dog boys and sideshows and stuff like that.
All right.
So it's set in like the 50s, and he moves into the apartment above her and her husband. Her husband's like a prevalent fashion photographer. And so they like befriend each other, and it's a really interesting movie. I happen to like Disc Replay does their like 10 movies for whatever, and I was like, that looks
I
interesting.
used to be a security guard at their junk mail processing facility. Those people were animals. Oh my god. Anyway,
So yeah, that if you have never seen it, I highly recommend finding it and watching it. It's a really well done film.
All right.
top favorite TV show, and I'm going to bring it in. We were all sci-fi. Firefly.
Oh,
Firefly was
legit.
good.
I can watch that over and over and over and never get bored.
I can watch Miranda Baccarat over and over again and never get bored. Agreed.
Yeah.
So you've heard the theories that like that character was terminally ill.
Really?
And there are different theories of like how things would have progressed if the show had gone on. And one of the theories was that like she was always getting checkups, not because of like requirements
The requirements
for being a companion,
for
but because she was terminally ill, and that's why she had decided to leave her life and travel the universe for no reason.
Like,
That makes sense.
Right. Oh no, I've
like
read
also
those that it's amazing.
fantasy-
And also why she could never really commit to her relationship with Captain Tight Pants because she didn't want to tell him.
Captain
So-
Tight
So it's like
Pants.
fantasy assumptions about fantasies. I like it.
Yeah. There was something to do with Shepherd Book, too, being originally a part of the Alliance.
Yes.
Well, right.
Yeah.
that
And
he
I
was
think-
like an
I have heard
operative.
that.
Yeah, I think that was actually like officially confirmed.
Yes.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
because that was one of those mysteries that you always wondered. It's like, how does he have like this
Super
clearance?
super high
Super
level
crazy, yeah.
clearance? Yeah. Well, and it was hysterical because I watched the Firefly and I absolutely loved it. And then I watched it the second time and I absolutely loved it. My wife saw like one episode and then an episode. My wife got the Fox treatment. Like she watched
Yeah.
one and then saw one like 8 episodes later, and she was like, "This makes no sense." And so 2 years later, I started watching it again, and I went, "Okay, I want you to sound and I want you to watch this with me." And she made it to the first episode, and then she made it through the second episode and was like, "All right, start the next one." And I went, "Oh, are you hooked?" And we got all the way through. She was like, "That was amazing. That's great. Let's go to the next season."
There
And she
ain't
didn't
one.
know.
Oh.
She had no idea it had been canceled, and I was like, "No, I'm sorry, sweetie, there's not anymore." And she had a fit, and it was like, and then I was like, "Oh, so what you're
Welcome.
telling me now is you're a Firefly fan?"
Yeah. And true statement. So I got to have dinner with 3 of the folks from Firefly when I was at Dragon Con probably 6 years ago.
Which 3? You lie.
Which,
Miranda Baccarat,
Oh, I
Lies.
hate you now.
Summer Glau, and then what the hell? Jewel State.
State.
Yes.
I hate you. I officially hate you. I just
And
disliked you
I
before.
wasn't
You know,
Brendan
and
Routh
then
there
he
as
woke
well,
up.
and you still talk shit
Yeah,
about it.
right?
I sat across from Brandon Routh, who's from Iowa, and we talked about football for half the time.
and then
Who's
he
it
woke
running
up
around?
from the stream.
Miranda Baccarat was recently engaged. She's 5'0", one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Face to face. She was amazing. But anyway,
I like Jewel State.
Yeah, you
she was awesome, and she's actually one of the funnier women that I've ever met.
Yeah, I don't mean to be that way, but
I'm the
I like-
funniest,
I like-
right?
I like-
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see past looks. But anyways,
Whoa.
we ate at Morton's one night or whatever, and it was
Says
awesome.
2018 Val Kilmer over here.
Oh,
Yeah, Morton's
so
Steakhouse.
ruthless.
Morton's Steakhouse screwed us on the bill. I will to this day never eat at Morton's again. So,
Alrighty.
Ooh,
Gotta love that.
anyway, that's it.
there you go.
The end.
The
so,
end.
I'm my bladder alarm is going off. We've been going for a solid hour and change.
Oh, we have been going for a solid hour and change now.
So
So that brings
complaining.
us back to would Infinity War, and this is for the, be
Ow, you pulled my leg hair.
in contention for the best
Like an hour.
Marvel movie so far
No,
in the MCU?
no.
What beats it out?
Black Panther, just because of
Ooh,
the cultural change. When
That will have influence on
Black
the
Panther.
entire movie industry
For
for who
decades.
knows how long. I'm hoping for the better because honestly, the movies are white AF all the time for no good reason, and it would be
Yeah.
nice to see some change.
Well, this was purple,
yeah,
at least, right? No?
Main character,
So-
Thanos does not count towards diversity.
Oh, why? He's not.
He's because
Oh, 'cause
because
they
I am
applied
prejudiced
purple makeup
against
to
him.
CGI people.
Okay. Oh,
Hey.
man.
How do you feel about
So
Muppets?
not the top one.
Hey.
What's the
No,
top? What's the number one MCU?
Thor Ragnarok.
Really? Okay.
That
so
was
I
very
have to
good.
go. I have to go with you. Black Panther
but
is
second,
still number one.
I thought Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, I thought that was one of the best ones as well because it related to its audience so well. Great comic relief, and you could really put yourself in the position of Star-Lord.
I do not want to spoil this, but you shut up about Guardians of the Galaxy. You just shut up right now.
Why?
You shut
right.
your mouth.
I am Groot.
Yeah. Thank you.
What?
I am
All
Groot.
right. So we've decided that it's not the best, but I thought it was pretty darn good.
I mean, it's going to be up there. It's better than Age of Ultron.
It's top 3.
Okay,
top
I'll
three.
give you that. Ultron was still. I love James Spader. I just really do.
Age
I love
of Ultron was sort of horrible.
Will you
Okay.
two stop breaking
Alrighty.
the code of conduct over there?
Alrighty.
Fighting.
So John's going to use the restroom. These two are going to get a room, and then we'll
Have a room.
we're gonna wrap that up. Apparently, this was our Ultron Age of Infinity spoiler.
I don't even
Ragnarok.
remember half the shit we talked about. Just
Yeah, just it's like most of the movies you've ever seen, huh?
Hey, asshole.
Alrighty, there we go.
Ciao, ragazzi.
And for those of you that listen to us, thank you for listening to us. And you won't remember this when we're done. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah,
and
bye.
as always, you'll hear from us. Bye bye.
Sayonara.
See ya.
Goldfish
I don't
and
remember how I'm
Aloha.
supposed to end it.
Meaning
Bye.
goodbye.